Danny Koker is the charismatic host of the hit TV show Counting Cars. For years he's been captivating audiences with his knack for turning broken-down classics and old cars into one-of-a-kind treasures. On his popular TV show Counting Cars, viewers got a behind-the-scenes look at his shop, Count's Customs, where all the magic happened. Shan got that beautiful chop, but then he quit the show without warning. Join us as we find out what really happened to Danny Koker from Counting Cars. The journey of Danny Koker, from cars to fame. Danny Koker was born Daniel Nicholas Koker's second Ed the World on January 5, 1964, in Cleveland, Ohio. He grew up there with his parents and sister Kim. When he was young, his family bought Channel 33, which gave him the chance to host shows like Saturday Night Fright at the Movies. Danny probably first learned about cool cars and how they worked when his father and other family members, friends and a lot of our relatives worked for Ford Motor Company, and Danny learned the basics of auto repair by doing small repairs himself. It was during this time that he discovered his love for working on cars and admiring them. Little did he know that this hobby would lead to a successful career in television. Another one of Danny's great loves is music, which he got from his dad, Danny Koker Sr. Danny discovered he was good at singing when he was young and joined his family band. Danny's popularity didn't really take off until Danny Koker's first TV role was in Porn Stars, a show about Rick Harrison and his family shop on the Las Vegas Strip. Since then, he's been in shows like The Eagle Has Landed and Count's 77. He owns and runs Count's Customs, a shop that makes some of the sickest rester mods. However, Danny Koker and Count's Customs ran into legal trouble in 2017 when they sued a former employee, Joseph Frontiera, saying he had stolen $75,000 from the company for personal use. Danny Koker left Counting Cars because he loves collecting cars and motorcycles. In an interview with Christopher Lawrence of the Review Journal, Danny said that he has 58 cars and about 70 motorcycles. Some of the gems in his garage are classics like the 1962 Volkswagen Congear, the sleek 1965 Cadillac Fleetwood Broom, the 1970 Coronet, the stylish 1973 Buick Riviera, the classic 1979 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, and the stunning 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. But wait, there's more. There's more. Danny has his sights set on some dream cars too. The elusive 1972 Lamborghini Miura SV is at the top of his list. Money isn't an issue for Danny. Finding this rare gem, however, is a different story. As of 2019, Danny had collected over 100 cars, making his collection truly exceptional. Two of the highlights are the Joe Ford dropping 1966 AC Cobra, which is now worth about $2 million, and the sentimental 1966 Mustang GT 350, which was a gift from his dad and sparked his lifelong love of cars. Danny joked to the Globe and Mail, "I'm addicted, I guess I need an intervention. I need help." With a collection of high-performance exotics, classic sports cars and hot rods, Danny's love for cars knows no bounds. However, fans were left wondering what happened to Danny Koker from Counting Cars. Danny was a self-taught mechanic who got his start in the world of cars in his teens. He got his first beat-up car when he was a teenager. His love of fixing cars, which he had since he was a child, led to the success of Count's Customs. This success allowed him to appear on popular shows like Porn Stars and American Restoration, both on the History Channel, as well as his own spin-off show Counting Cars, which ran for 10 seasons and was a huge hit for the network. It was clear that Koker was passionate about every car that appeared on Count's Customs. Given that Customs is one of the most well-known companies in the field for customizing and restoring cars, one would think that Danny would have had a lot of mechanical training and education. However, in an interview with an American Profile, Danny Koker said that his formal education was limited to high school, where he mostly focused on standard shop and automotive class. Other than that, he learned how things worked by taking them apart by hand. Danny Koker has basically taught himself how to customize and restore cars, so it's clear how much time and effort he has put into his job. Koker is a very proud self-made man, and Count Customs' success is a true tribute to him. Fans will think Danny Koker can restore anything, and many will think he could do it with his eyes closed. One fan asked him about the one car he couldn't rebuild, and Koker remembered seeing an early version of that question. At an auction, Koker bought a cheap mid-1960s Ford Falcon Ranero because he thought it would be fun to fix up. To his disappointment, Koker found that the Ranero wasn't as valuable or fun to fix as he thought it would be, and he took it back to Count's Customs. During the inspection, it was found that the car was completely covered in rust and in terrible shape. Koker said that everything could be fixed, and if he had $1 billion he would have fixed it. The car probably wouldn't have worked anyway if he hadn't taken that chance. So, Koker turned it into a Ford Mustang pool table at a Las Vegas hotel, instead of a car that could be driven. Danny Koker became hooked on motorcycles and cars at a young age, but his first car, a 1979 Camaro Z28, started him on the path of restoring and customizing cars. Even though it was Coker's first car, he decided to take it apart and customize it from front to back. Even though Koker doesn't want to let go of his memories, he still owns the car that is proudly displayed in Count Customs. The Camaro needs another restoration because Koker hasn't changed it in a long time and it has been sitting in the shop for years. Danny Koker must have a soft spot in his heart for the 1979 Camaro Z28 because it is still in his extensive collection after all these years. Danny started customs as a hobby, but it quickly turned into one of the best modification shops in the country. They do everything from upholstery to paint jobs and even frame buildups. Big names in the industry, like Matrix, Dakota Digital Classic Instruments, and the Flaming River, sponsor the shop, which shows how well known and respected it is. In interviews, Danny, the leader of Count 77, talks about how proud he is of his 45 dedicated employees who work hard on new projects. The popular TV show Counting Cars made Danny Koker famous at his Before Counting Cars, Danny built a name for himself in the customs industry by giving old, unwanted cars amazing makeovers. In several Porn Stars episodes, Rick would ask Danny to be his local expert when figuring out how much to charge for some of the great old muscle cars that would come into the shop. Danny's partnership with Porn Stars lead singer Rick Harrison may have been one of his most profitable businesses. In 2012, the History Channel decided to start a spin-off show called Counting Cars. The cameras would follow Danny as he restored and rebuilt interesting cars from long-ago eras. The show was a big hit and ran for 10 seasons. Counting Cars premiered in 2012 and has been one of the History Channel's most popular shows with 10 seasons. Celebrity guests have included rock singer Alice Cooper. In 2014, Danny Koker became the show's executive producer. In addition to Counting Cars, Danny also created the hard rock band Count 77. The twin guitar duo of John Zito and Stoney Curtis released their first album with Shrapnel Records on April 29, 2014. Curtis has a large following as a recording and touring blues musician. He is also the driving force behind Count 77, a band with roots in 1970s hard rock music that includes influences from Thin Lizzy to Foghat, the Allman Brothers, and Led Zeppelin. Count 77 was positioned to be a leader in the new classic rock renaissance, with a sound that evokes one of the best musical eras of all time. Koker, the dynamic lead singer of Count 77, started singing before he became famous around the world. He now splits his time between his love of music and cars. Count 77 has performed for thousands of people at motorcycle rallies and large business events. The band is quickly becoming known and is being asked to headline shows in Colorado, Texas, Mississippi, Chicago, and other places. Over the years, the musicians have been on a number of TV shows. Counting Cars gave Koker a platform that put him in front of the show, has millions of viewers every week, and has featured the band on it. The band has fans in the United States, Canada, South Africa, Europe, including the UK, Poland, Romania, Spain, Germany, Japan, Israel, and South America. Count 77's fanbase is growing in new places. His most memorable appearance on TV was at the start of Counting Cars, which has viewers in 160 countries including India. In the first episode, Richard Harrison, a friend from Porn Star, came to see him and gave him a Wallinen. Along with being a porn star on his own show, Danny Koker has also been on a number of other shows, such as The Weekend in Vegas, American Restoration, All You Need to Know SEMA, and Chris Angel Mind Freak. However, these guest spots were not the reason Danny left Counting Cars. It was not easy for the Counting Cars crew to make the show realistic and a favorite among car lovers. Koker had the help of what many saw as Danny's most popular crew member is his longtime best friend and supporter, Kevin Mack. Since the beginning of the show, Danny and Kevin have been as close as a knot. They spend a lot of time together on long trips looking for potential cars that can be turned into amazing designs. Over the years, Kevin has been Danny's rock, and has always been on the lookout for things Danny missed in a hurry, or when he made bad decisions, making sure that the final product met their high standards of quality and craftsmanship. And Kevin was always the person the show turned to when they needed help with something big. It didn't hurt that he got to test drive a lot of the new inventions and cars they would buy from strangers. Overall, many would say that his main jobs were to plan and budget the money, and before they became risky to take, Kevin ran and approved all the extra costs and material prices. Shannon IA was the lead builder and manager of the bike shop at Count's Customs. The Gentle Giant's artwork and craftsmanship have made many viewers envious, and some of the most mind-blowing designs and installations that he came up with and worked on gave the vehicles the push they needed to be great inventions. If you've watched Counting Cars before, you know that Shannon's work has been featured on the show many times. His artistic side wasn't limited to the workshop. He also cooked gourmet meals for his friends and hosted a cookout for the CC crew. Ryan Evans's calm and friendly personality made him one of Counting Cars' most beloved crew members. Along with his partner Mike Henry, he was the team's airbrush stylist, adding bright colors and intricate patterns to the cars. Ryan was known as a master graphic artist and became the shop's lead painter after Shannon's recommendation. Fans were excited about Ryan's latest vehicle of Focus and his rebranding of colors, which would have made even an artist's jaw drop. Horny Mike's ideas and desire to play around with colors and designs as much as he wanted, along with Ryan's ability to present them perfectly, meant that the team almost never lacked any kind of creativity. Mike's use of color and rebranding of cars has led to several successful sales and the creation of vehicles that are both eye-catching and durable. Behind-the-scenes team members who made sure everything ran as smoothly as possible. Scott Jones was very important as the manager. He kept the team's finances in order by keeping an eye on the books and profits and losses. His direct and business-like approach made sure that the team stuck to their original plans and stayed on track. Sometimes, Scott and Danny got into heated arguments over budget priorities and trade-offs to make sure the team made money, but fans only saw this. After Scott had his son, he left the show after 2 seasons. Fans started to talk about his absence, with some UNF-ed rumors saying he was fired for embezzlement, which was later proven to be false. If you've ever wondered how the cars got their beautiful angles and shiny bodies, it was all because of the work of the team's detailer, Roy Sabo, who was an expert at cleaning and polishing Count Customs vehicles. Enthusiasts mostly knew him for his thick Hungarian accent on the American show, and his memorable prank of trying to burn out in a small electric car, which both amused and scared fans. His sudden departure from the show before the 7th season was unexpected and unexplained. Many questions still remain about Rye's departure from Counting Cars. According to rumors, he got tired of being in the spotlight after having thousands of dollars worth of equipment stolen. This sudden attention probably proved frustrating for someone. Some rumors say he left Count's shop on bad terms, but Kelly hasn't given a clear explanation yet. This lack of clarity has led some to think he may have been fired. Regardless, Rye has clearly made a big change in his life in Nevada and seems to be doing well for himself by running a successful detailing business. The most notable restorations, by Danny Koker's Danny and his team of skilled technicians and custom car builders, have worked on some great cars over the years. There have been hundreds of car builds over the course of 10 seasons, but only a few stand out. Rick Harrison, the porn star, also brought in this vintage Mustang fastback to be featured in the first episode of Counting Cars. When Danny got it, it was in bad shape, but Rick insisted that he wanted it made into a low-budget bullet tribute. After Danny and his crew worked their magic on it, about 180 episodes were made, which shows that fans were happy, even though it's not their usual muscle car style. Fans were surprised by how different this car turned out compared to the usual muscle cars the team had reimagined. The rear lights of this custom-made car made it look like a Mustang, but its unique blue paint job and body design could only belong to the works in the Count Customs category. The drama and the lawsuit Count's Customs, led by the energetic Danny Koker, was in the spotlight with their popular TV show Counting Cars. But the shop's journey hit a bump in the road. In 2014, a determined couple named Jeanette and Paul sued them because they had given Count's Customs their beloved 1967 Ford Mustang, with the hope that it would be changed for the show. However, when they found out that no work had been done, they were disappointed and demanded a refund, but it never came. Feeling ripped off, they took the matter to court and accused Count's Customs of deceit. The courtroom turned into a battleground as accusations flew. Jeanette and Paul sought, while everyone was waiting to see if Count's Customs could prove their innocence, Danny Koker and his team had to test their reputation and honesty. In 2017, a new lawsuit surrounded the close-knit family at Count's Customs. This time, it was about a former employee named Joseph Frontiera. Joseph, who had been highly regarded, was accused of serious wrongdoing. The accusations were shocking. He was said to have stolen money from the company that had helped him. If Joseph had broken their trust by stealing money meant for the business and spending it on personal luxuries like a fancy car and trips abroad, he would have been sued for neglecting the company's tax duties, which would have gotten them in trouble with the IRS. This legal battle put the shop in a lot of trouble, which is exactly what happened to Danny Koker when he pleaded no guilty to a misdemeanor charge of illegally stealing a 2008 Cadillac Escalade from an accident in November 2019. The owner of the car left it at the tow yard because they were having money problems and couldn't get it back. The owners gave the tow yard permission to sell it, But the owner's friend Danny stepped in and arranged for the Cadillac to be towed to his repair business so Danny could fix it and give it back to the owner. Danny broke the law in Nevada by taking a car out of a tow yard without the owner's permission, or a felony. After facing grand larceny auto charges, a felony that could lead to a 10-year prison sentence, Danny reached a plea deal with prosecutors that resulted in a reduced misdemeanor conviction. However, as part of the deal, Danny had to do 80 hours of community service and pay the tow yard $25,000. During his probationary period, he was also not allowed to own or carry guns. In 2018, Koker started a new legal battle with two former employees, saying that they had stolen money from Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill, claiming to have stolen from the bar's safe, tampered with financial documents, and transferred money to their own accounts. The complaint asked for $376,000 in damages. The case turned into a criminal investigation, and the homes of the two workers who were leaving were searched and seized. The two workers were arrested for theft and embezzlement and returned to Nevada in December 2019. Danny Koker was arrested in March 2020 after police found evidence linking him to the Cadillac incident. Danny was initially facing a criminal charge, but his lawyer was able to show that his client was acting in good faith by helping a friend in need, which led to a reduced charge and a probationary term. Danny Koker's legal problems have had a huge effect on both his personal and professional life. In addition to the financial losses and legal consequences, his reputation has also been harmed. Because of the intense scrutiny his case has been subjected to, Danny has been the target of criticism and outrage. Even though he is in trouble with the law, Danny has promised to make things right and move on with his life. But that wasn't the end of his story. In 2022, he shocked everyone by quitting the show he was famous for. People were confused about why he did it, and they soon learned it was because he was very sick. He had pneumonia, which made it hard for him to breathe, and a nasty infection in his heart. It looked like he wouldn't make it, but Danny didn't give up. He fought hard and made it through. Danny's recovery was long and hard, but he came back stronger than ever. He went back to his shop, Count's Customs, where he is now the boss and main mechanic. Even though Danny isn't on TV as much, he is still the heart and soul of the business. Danny puts his heart and soul into every car in the shop, and his passion shows in his work. But Danny's skills don't stop there. Koker, who is known for his love of music, has returned to his roots with his band Count 77. The band, which has a 7s metal vibe, was formed about 10. Koker's wife Corey also works at the bar, which is called Count's Vamped Rock, and is in Las Vegas. It looks like Koker loves balancing his love of music, family and friends with his love of cool old cars. He's living the Vegas life to the fullest. What do you think about Danny Koker's car restorations? Do you think the team will be back for another season? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe and click the notification button to get new videos.